Why not be reckless? You're just Tony now, though, right? We're just going with Tony.
Tony, why not be reckless? Kind of a freaking big deal. Whatever.
Either way, man, we got a hell of a day, right? We've got one matchup we already had was a best of 5 down to the wire.
Yes.
Right, just previously. Now we have Team War up against the Divine Mind, right? So we've got some of the top talent in ANZ, number 2 in ANZ, up against Team War, which Team War recently signed team. This team is a big deal, Tony. You talked about yourself being a big deal. I mean, this is Envor, Septify, who am I missing? Super CC, and
Well, it was Manny, but now
was Manny.
Yeah. Now, so obviously Envor's team looking really good right now, and Team War actually making it out of the actual open bracket. By the way, they weren't even guaranteed in pool play.
Right.
They really had to fight their way into it.
Well, I mean, Team War no slouch, though,
Yeah.
right? They fought their way through. They're looking good. Winners bracket round 1, of course, and the best of 5 series we have coming up once again as well. Just in front of you, we got Strongholds, Live Fire, Slayer on Aquarius, CTF on Bizarre, and if we get there, we got All Ball Streets and Slayer on Recharge. I'm expecting a brawl on this, especially starting it with Stronghold's Live Fire. We've seen this time and time again. This map seems to just be built perfectly for land. It's so closely contested every time. But, I mean, this time around, you got Team War. You've got an NA team that maybe they fought through the open bracket, but this is a team, as far as their accolades, their experience in Halo 5, they're a top caliber team in NA.
Yes.
Up against an ANZ team, Divine Mind. As good as this team is, kind of less EXP here, this might be a tough one for them, I think. We'll see.
I'll be honest with you, so far in pool play, they weren't able to get a single map win. Not talking about series.
Really?
They haven't won a single map. So they were getting, they got 0-3 literally all 3 times, but 0-9. And ultimately right now, not that the KD matters in every game type, but not a single player is in positive KD.
I mean, if you're losing the game, you're probably not positive either.
I mean, I don't know.
The only thing I could think coming out of that, though, is their pool, difficult pool, by all means, right?
Oh,
was it the pool of death that they were in?
Their pool was tough. Their pool was tough.
Right. So, obviously, that's a contributing factor. Team War, it's hard to say that they are a level below that, though, right? They're kind of similar caliber, but I do feel like this should be maybe a more manageable opportunity for Divine Mind. Either way, if you're Divine Mind in the situation, you're kind of, hopefully you're holding on to some confidence. You're regrouping, coming back, and taking the best that you can from an opportunity like this. That's the biggest thing I've said with some of these ANZ teams is you come and you bring your A game, but you scrim when you're not on the broadcast. You make sure you learn as much as you can because the level of competition, the level of play is just incredible at these HCS lands. Either way, I can't wait to see what Team War puts together. We haven't seen them all tournament long, so it should be exciting. And of course, it starts with Strongholds on Live Fire. Let's talk a bit about that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Strongholds on Live Fire. I mean, so far, some of the best games that we've actually been able to see on broadcast were on this map and game type combination.
Right.
A lot of resources, but just a wide open map, just allowing players to really get into their own, slaying out. Obviously, you have the heat wave. You have the power up. You have the sniper rifle. So plenty of utility, even the repulsors, plenty of utilities there to make some crazy plays. You can knock somebody off a couple of sides of the map. You can obviously get those quick scopes, with those double kills and triple kills. And don't forget about that camouflage or power up, but just to kind of get right behind enemy lines and utilizing that. It's really important.
Right. On top of all the sandbox, the timing with the rotation as well, something we've seen is just understanding what that enemy team is doing, what they're looking at, where they're going, so you can kind of counter very quickly. If they're rotating to B, then you make that quick run through A to C, right? Instead of just maybe, depending on the situation, instead of maybe a challenging them in B, taking that 50-50, you go for the guaranteed capture and stay ahead of the captures, which is something that we've seen continuously as a strategy. Let's talk a bit about Team War, though, because I know you know this team pretty well.
Yes.
The players on this team, we've been watching them for a long time in Halo 5, continuing to level up. I think it's starting to feel like now might be an opportunity for these guys to really shine, kind of at that similar level to Pioneers. And Pioneers, I want to say, has been holding a top 6 placing since they've had that spotlight. Team War, I want to say, are right behind them.
Well, it's funny, speaking of Pioneers, Pioneers actually stole a player from this roster.
Right.
So Manny was originally on Team War back when it was Team Business before they got drafted. And literally a couple of days before the final qualifier, roster line, before that final qualifier, Pioneers end up dropping Super CC.
Swapped it out.
And picking up Manny. So Super CC then hops on this team because, they're all pretty familiar with each other.
Right.
And mind you, KCP get their best placing in the qualifier, but so do Team War.
Okay.
Team War show off as well. So it's one of those roster moves that actually worked out really good for both sides. And obviously, in my opinion, I think it's I think my player to watch out for is Envoy. This team goes as Envoy goes. Super CC plays great Halo. So does Jazero. They're all fantastic.
Okay.
But my player to watch out for is Envoy.
I was wondering who rounded it out. So it's Jazero, Septify, CC, Envoy to cover the whole roster. Envoy, like you said, somebody to watch. Incredibly talented with his weapon, with his accuracy, but at the same time, he's taking advantage of a lot of the tech, of a lot of the mechanics in this game that we don't see as often. And specifically, I want to say the weapon drop combo that we've seen, the combination of the Mangler plus the BR. 2 shots in, you drop the weapon, swap the BR, finish the kill. He's been doing it constantly, in live fire especially.
Yeah.
So this might be the map where we get to see it. So I'll be looking out on his POV to see if he applies some of the techs here.
And now when he says drop the weapon, obviously the 2 shots with the Mangler automatically breaks those shields.
Right.
And your first thought process is to switch to the BR because you get that headshot. But apparently dropping the weapon is a lot faster than simply switching. And again, we're talking about split second, but in a game that's all about split second timing, that's what it's all about.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's not just, it's with any weapon, really. So you drop your weapon, you swap to the secondary faster, but also for picking up weapons as well, which is something I've noticed with the rocket launcher, for example. The rocket launcher has a very long pickup timing. You can shorten that by YYing when you pick it up. Or there's a trick where I believe you can pick it up and instantly drop the BR as you're grabbing it, and it comes up faster and shoots even faster. So this this might be some under the curtain kind of tech. I don't know. I'm still kind of learning as we go here, but we'll see if we see something like that in gameplay. Because obviously, okay, if you drop your BR when you pick up the rocket, it's risky. But if you can shoot that rocket almost immediately, I mean, that's very powerful off of a pickup.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Halo Infinite really did, where none of the other Halo games have. Like, once you pick up those power weapons, you usually kind of were able to get them right off of animation. But Halo Infinite is one of the first games where you pick up that rocket launcher in the middle of a gunfire, you're going down. You're getting punished. It's you have to make sure that you secure that area and secure your life before you commit to any power, because that animation takes a while. But you're saying there's some game-breaking
there might be some tricks.
I'm about to practice, though.
There's a lot of tricks in the trade. I don't know how many I'm allowed to reveal on the HCS broadcast, but there's a lot of fun tricks in this game. And honestly, that's what makes it so exciting. And like you said, there's a risk-reward profile that hasn't been there in Halo 5, maybe to the same degree, right? Every single component about this game, there's a nice layer of risk-reward. Like, you've got a classic kind of Halo in the way that it's played in terms of just the bare-bones strategy, but you've got modern mechanics. And with the modern mechanics, there's that nice balance of, like, you still need to value your positioning, value the opportunity. You go for that challenge. You make that aggressive play because you don't have that resource. You don't have the thrust in the back pocket, but you can still be aggressive. You can still sprint, slide. So there's that nice in-between where it's like, okay, these tools are there. Just know when to use them and take advantage of them despite the greater risk that's present.
You know, I can tell you love this. I can see that glimmer in your eye, man.
Is it the glimmer in my eye, or is it just the shine on my face?
Find you a partner that talks about you the way Shyway talks about tech. Let me tell you, guys.
It's impossible. I can't find me a partner that like that.
Well, you know what?
Anyway, you get the point.
One of these days, we'll find you a partner. You guys can curve slide the map together. But it looks like we're ready for game number 1. Going to be flying right into it again. Live fire, strongholds, one of the best game types and map combinations that we've seen in this tournament. Every game has gone down to the wire, and both of these teams are probably going to go to war.
I mean, I want to see them go to war, Tony. I'm looking for some good Halo. I mean, good Halo is currently happening all around the venue. Optic is currently facing off against Sentinels, Tony. Not to pull you away from the broadcast. If anything, I would say just multi-twitch it. Watch it all at the same time. But, I mean, it's seeing such high-level, high-caliber Halo all around the venue. Gets me excited, gets me pumped for this series. So I can't wait to see what these boys put together because, of course, whoever wins, they get just a little bit closer to going up against Optic, going up against Sentinels, and really putting on a show.
Yeah, and mind you, I mean, we've seen Envoy and Septify actually get a big win against Sentinels back in Halo. It was a long time ago, but these guys have the potential as Envoy starting to show potential immediately starting off.
We said to on and just up off the start of here. Look at this off the repulsor jump. That player will dip out of tower to avoid him, but Slazy gets picked up by Jazero instead. So Jazero with timing onto C. BC hold already spawns up in A and just looking for him. Looks like they're all over on camo.
Jazero going in for the challenge, but sadly goes down to one shot real quick, and Berserk gonna absolutely go berserk on him. Meanwhile, Slays now gonna make his way, taking down Super CC with style, and looks like C is gonna heavily go in favor of Divine Mind, but the 2-cap still going towards Team War.
Slays did pick up that snipe. Not sure if he's got something to put together with it. Of course, his whole team now rotating over to B. Gonna try to watch that cutoff coming out of the A stronghold. CC did get tagged by a nade. Septify looking for a flank onto the tower, but Slay's there to deal with him, hopefully. Septify gonna leave a nade and a headshot behind. Not sure how he got tagged. I think it might have been one of the two players flying straight through mid here. Back on board with Berserk. And I think if there's anybody to watch on this Divine Mind team, Berserk is the one to keep an eye on.
Berserk able to get the assist. Now we're going to go on board with Slays, who was awarded that kill earlier. Meanwhile, Berserk right off the screen taking down Super CC, and that's going to allow Divine Mind to go after the trip cap, and they're still putting down Slays. The nades are coming in. I thought Team War might be better on paper, but Divine Mind are coming back. They have stolen the lead.
It's too early to tell, Tony. Really just getting started. Berserk trying to milk his life here, but Septify not having any of it. Gonna bait and switch with Jazero. On4 already on B. Teammate in C as well, disrupting things. That's Super CC, conveniently. Of course, he would go for C in that situation. Camo about to pop up. Defense with the Mangler. Septify wins a huge fight for it.
By himself.
That's an opportunity for that Camo. You said he's by himself, but here's Super CC once again to ensure that that trip to Camo is just a little bit easier.
Luckily, Septify buying enough time for his teammates to come up there. Didn't necessarily side situation. Meeting work off spinning back. 3 down. Not and more are on the pressure and look like they're still and lead.
Unfortunate jump there. And he just to the right and go A. Regardless, are gonna do in from your shot. Jazero about it. Cheeky repeat. And that will deal with them. Onboard covering the doorway here as well. And I mean the combo of the repulsor and the heat wave. What do you do?
You go to the black screen. Take a nice long trip down to the black screen. That's what you do here. Allow Septify to grab C. You got Septify get their sniper. Too many utilities now going in favor of Team War. And now they're looking to defend, but looks like Jazero going to be the first player to go down. Meanwhile, Onboard gets the Slay on Slays and just barely missing that quick scope to Septify, but still going in favor of Team War. They're still putting good on the board.
Have Team War have now pushed through, holding on to the lead here. Septify just going to reposition with Snipe. Going to anchor from behind here over in C. All while that's happening, Super CC going to make the challenge here up through A. On4 with them. Berserk alone to challenge it. Good luck to him. Jazero going to fly and finish that off nice and easy. That's all captured. See the one contested, but there's already a player over in the tower as well that's Septify. So just coverage on the map right now. On4 just watching this little hallway. I mean, oh, that's not good. It's not good for Rated. Can't do anything here. Doesn't even do damage, which gives this man the freedom to continue to fight, but thankfully Slays is shooting a little better there.
Yeah, I mean, momentarily, there was actually a trip cap in favor of Team War, and at the same time, Divine Mind were actually 3 down, so that was not looking good for in blue. Divine have been able to steal away. They're free, they're having no idea. Super C absolutely baiting it, Rated, able to go after it. Looks like the nades are coming in, and sadly was not able to get away with the power-up, and Onboard starting to go off. That power-up is actually shelling behind the flank.
Muffled right. Team on top, Septify free above. Oh, he's going to worry about holding a sight line. Onboard spawns B. Where will this man look? He can look through center street here. That might be the play as he rotates back to tower. Super CC up in advance with the heat wave. Should be able to provide some good coverage here. Onboard unfortunately going to drop though. Flex Raids rotates to B. And Divine Mind with an opening onto B for a short A-B hold. They got to make it work, though, right? 185-47, just oppressive lead. Super CC going for the jump here, too, and Berserk going to make him pay for it.
Great job by Berserk controlling that sandbag side of the map, but when you have an AB setup, it's going to be so important. Meanwhile, Junior is actually going to be rotating over and stealing away C, so hold on here. Rated taking down Septify. Now Junior going in for the challenge, trying to dodge all the damage, able to take down Onward. Flex Range coming out on top, back-to-back kills coming from Flex Range and Berserk. Divine Mind looking good.
Flex Range putting it all together. Nice little double out of him. He jumps up with the repulsor. He's going to hold down tower. You got all 3 caps somehow accounted for here. Not sure what Team War is doing. Spawning and dying, apparently. Jazero going to spawn into bullets. His shields are torn off. Septify going to do what he can from the tower, but, I mean, Flex Raiden was annoying him a second ago, and then you got Berserk just tagging him from across the map.
Slays taking down Septify, still over towards the C side of the map. A momentary trip cap in the hands of Divine Mind. Team War were running away with it in the first half, but it looks like Divine Mind have bounced back. But as I say, that A starting to go in favor of Team War. They haven't got the capture just yet. Can they steal it away?
Things definitely a little closer than they were just a couple minutes ago. not over yet, but Team War, look at this. Trip cap on board, spawners outside, and everyone taking position to ensure they stay outside. Septify, can he stay alive though? Got nades, got shots coming in. Bizarre gonna take advantage of the timing to get to C, but just 0. Line up a shot, can't quite do it. Still got 5 to work with, and there's the one that connects the no-scope onto Slays. Oh man, the weight to snap onto Rain, but couldn't quite hit it.
3 out of 4 players going down for the boys in blue. Envoy now starting to up the tempo here. You have Envoy and Jazero, 12 and 13 kills apiece. Looks like Envoy trying to put his 13th on the board, ends up getting the assist. Team are looking, the rotation coming out of B right now, just lose A, and they're staying within the scoreboard. We're getting close to 250 mark.
Starting for Divine Mind, they came back a bit, but then once again, Team War, they pulled away to 19 counting. Berserk needs to make a play here. There's 2 out front of him, and he's jumping. And you can't be caught jumping with no cover. You're going to get melted. Can Raiden do anything? He can't get a kill. That's going to give him coverage of tower. You got Septify and Envoy just pestering him. But there's a trip cap on lock here, 235, and the time's just bleeding. They can cap C, but that's not going to stop it.
Long range shots coming out of Raiden. Ends up almost taking down Envoy there, but they're just holding things down. But Raiden needs to be careful. There's a player going after C, dropping right behind him. Excellent kill come out of him, but it looks like that's not going to be enough. That's the 250-point mark being reached by Team War, who are going up 1-0 against Divine Mind.
Like we said, definitely not enough. Some signs of life from Divine Mind, I want to say mid-game, and then maybe a little bit towards the late game. Really just that one mid-game stretch where they did get around to Slays and a full trip cap. We were wondering, where was Team War, right? Where were they on the map? Respawning, spawning up outside, and then getting killed, spawned as well. I might had one moment of control, one moment where things looked good, and then everything else was just, it was the War show, right? It was Envoy or Septify with a sniper and or the Mangler, and just kind of winning their fights, out-rotating them throughout the entire game. And I mean, it's something we expected coming into this, but when you see it, you know, IRL, it's quite a sight to behold.
Yeah, and I feel bad. Divine Mind haven't been able to win a map just yet.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that it would go into that series and try to gain a little bit of momentum. And although they showed some signs of life, it looks like they weren't able to close things out. And Team War, that's a tough team. Let's be honest. It's a really tough one. Luckily,
right, go for it. You're good.
I was going to say, luckily it's a best of 5, so there's a lot of time on the board for Divine Mind to catch some heat.
Or a lot of time to lose for a 3-0, apparently, right? They could just get pummeled. Like we see with Divine Mind, you take the opportunity to play Halo at this level, right?
Yes.
You said every single team is sweaty, is high level, and it's unfortunate. Not really, though, right? Like, Divine Mind earned their position to get here.
Yes.
Had they jumped into open bracket, sure, they would get some easier teams to play against, but then it's just not the same EXP. They might not even make it to champ bracket. Who knows? So because they got that 4th position, they got to play champ all tournament long so far. So yeah, I would say take it in stride, play the best you can, and something from the so you go back and you and your scene levels up because of it. Either way, the opportunity is here, and might be one of their final opportunities. Of course, they lose this, they drop down to lower. Slayer Aquarius is going to be the map, the tone of on Slayer in good direction. Tony, what do you expect this one?
Well, you know, we kind of saw Slayer Aquarius because it's still winners round 1, so the format. So we saw that game, and what kind of ran away with that. I think it was actually being 50-38. I believe the score was Team individual win those individual fights. I'm gonna give the mind kind of been winning back some of the like course. Yes, I don't know feeling that Team War gonna run with it in Slayer. Whenever there's Envoy on a team, usually that team's Slayer. That's been where he's gone. Always been really good at mapping people, especially of the higher caliber, on Team Slayer.
Right. The biggest thing I'm hoping to see is just like running together on the perimeters, right? They can start with perimeter. You got the center map, which is very open and vulnerable. Obviously, you don't want to spend too much time out top mid. But the bottom of the map is excellent for flanking, as open, as vulnerable as it is. If you can take a thrust, take advantage of it, you might be able to get behind enemy lines or get a quick pinch, a quick rotate to pinch into a base onto one of the raiders, like you said, one of the rough spawn points. We'll see. It all pulling together on perimeters, winning those fights, and then having the numbers to make riskier plays and get out front, get out in the open. Ideally, they need the confidence to do it, though. We'll see.
And, you know, I'm glad you mentioned the thrust. I've kind of been talking about it throughout this tournament. Everybody knows how powerful Camo is. We even know how powerful Heatwave can be. Yeah. But I still feel like unsung on this specifically is the thrust. Side with it, and I'm going to go over there. I'm going to yell at them coach. Because you cannot. I'll take the coach's headset. I'll yell at him.
Okay, damn. You probably didn't hear it, Divine Mind. You don't want it because out here. Offensive parallel. Do it. If it's out, nobody. That's not even necessarily make it with it, but it should be in pocket. You got to have your perk because if it just sits there, don't pick the team could be. And if the game too the fact that it runs the game, what can come from is, we talked about oppressive. You take that, you take the heat wave, the dynamos on top of that. I mean, there's so much you can put together, and I think the thrust is just the easy starting point. It's right out front of your base. At least one person can pick it up off that spawn, and something you should always keep an eye on.
Yeah, and you also mentioned the dynamo nades. Like that, the dynamo nades are so strong and almost considered a power weapon at this point. But like I said, I know you've been talking about the audio tick, the weird, interaction that you can actually bounce that damage off of players, off of weapons. It's an interesting lineup with the dynamo, and one that I've been trying to take advantage myself. I haven't mastered it just yet. Like I've seen people throwing 2 and automatically getting an auto kill.
Yeah.
I love the audio tick, but I haven't been able to master it just yet. I'm gonna work on that.
We'll see. I think one of the biggest things is just how effective 2 are together. If you just toss them both, like you said, they tend to just kind of send both of them out. It's just a combo of all that electricity and the area denial that makes it either impossible for you to escape it, or you don't go there. You block off that area of the map and then give your team more time to advance or to take a camo or to do whatever. So it's that area denial I think is so huge. On top of, like you said, the tick that you can hear that will reveal player positions and just give you so much info. Let's talk a bit about Team War though. Once again, Tony, we've talked about them plenty. We know plenty about them. I'll say. Haven't talked about them plenty just yet, but we can right now. Super C, Siege of Zero, Septify, and Envor on screen, of course, coming from Halo 5.
Yeah.
Any insight you can give us from their careers in Halo 5 kind of leading to this point?
Yeah, man. You got Envor coming out of Mississippi. He's definitely been on the top 8 team on land before. Septify coming out of Texas, and I don't know if he's actually had much land experience, but as far as hanging with the big boys, we're talking Money Twos with Renegade, Frosty, and all of them. He's been there, done that player. Jazeera has actually teamed with Envor before and has placed well. He's also teamed with Pelican. And Super again, also Envor team that he's out of Coates, Pennsylvania, 20 years old.
My man, remembering the location they came from. I'm just expecting tournament background.
You said you want to know about them. I thought you want to know about them.
I'm glad you know. I'm glad you know. The man's you did your homework, Tony. I appreciate it. Well, there you go. There you have it. A lot more info on these players and where they're from, and maybe at some point you can list out their goals and where they plan to be in a couple of years from now. But I'm sure just to be the best players.
Wants to be a scientist. Nah, I don't know.
I imagine. And a Halo player at the same time. And we do have some top-level talent that, they're juggling school, juggling other responsibilities at the same time. We're going to be getting into this game very shortly. Of course, we're not just talking to talk. We are getting ready with this map. The moment that it is ready, we will jump in. Guaranteed. Let's take a look at this bracket in the meantime, because there are a lot of teams in play currently, and a nice little indicator of how things are going, by the way, in winners round 2. Tony, Optic and Sentinels, we're not watching it. We're hearing it. We're hearing the crowd go crazy right now because, man, what a series I'm sure it is. 1-0 in that one currently. Yeah. And Optic apparently currently leads 40-29 as well. So one that you can catch on TV/Halo, and something I recommend have saw this podcast because they're much low coverage. Tony, you look like they say something. What do you say?
I just wanted that matchup. I mean, we're talking about the new Optic game versus the Optic. She played a banner and championships. Optic, it's kind of it's old Optic. Loving that dynamic. You also, I mean, I really want to see the end of this. I believe so. What 40-29 going in favor of Optic Gaming, who are going insane right now.
40-29 is a hell of a deficit to the point where can't send Sentinels even see over. But yeah, that would be the best side for these series. Of course, most of us know the story. I think coming in, Sentinels the ideal. Still a hell roster, having Formal jump in there last second. Formal, I mean, coming out of Call of Duty, a massive champion in the scene, and
he's signed by Optic.
Signed by Optic. That is very weird, isn't it? The whole situation is a horrible way. This Halo, several years away. He hasn't lost that. Clearly, incredibly talented, brings the roster despite the last-second mix-up. You got FaZe, by the way, waiting in winner's side round 2. So FaZe, of course, still winners. Lost G2 earlier today, and that would have been in the pools. Yeah. So even though they lost in the pools, it didn't ultimately, give up their opportunity in winners bracket. They're still in winners, still got a chance, but it does give me an indication that FaZe might be in trouble later on, right? If G2 can take them, then I'm sure FaZe is in for a lot of competition coming up. Of course, you got C9 below that. C9 are looking, out of all the teams, that are looking unstoppable. But let's get back to what matters most. Of course, our series, Team War up against Divine Mind. The Divine Mind have yet to give us any form of an answer for the pressure they received game one. Only a matter of time till we see if they can do something here.
Yeah, let's see if they can bounce back here on Aquarius. We're going to start on board now with Rated come out of Divine Mind, one of the leading Slayers here, utilizing that thrust in the individual gunfight and able to at least get the trade-off on Envoy as we're 2-1 lead going in favor of Team War.
On board with Junior, and Junior has a camo in front of him. Jazero, Septify, 3 different enemies here actually. Super CC, Jazero, and on board, they're all going to die. Apparently in a second. Backsmack to start. Junior going to play it safely here, 3-2 on the board. On board, second victim. Nice timing with the challenge as well. He can pick up 2 and get out with his life.
Junior now going in for a weak side flank over towards bottom utility. The Dynamo nades are going to fly off, and he's still alive. Nobody actually able to find where he is. Super CC trading off kills. It looks like Junior going to get into an engagement. He thought it was a 1v1. Little did he know it was a 1v2.
Something we talked about coming into the game is just, stacking up, holding hands, making sure you got that buddy system, I guess, on lock, because you're always rotating with 2. You never walk into those 2v1 engagements or anything 2v2 engagements is the ideal situation here, because that 2v1 right there onto that player, going to deal with him quickly, and now it's up to Super CC and team to collapse on the base spawners.
Super CC listening to his teammates, responding to the call-outs, gets a great kill, but Slay's out coming for a cleanup kill, and that's what it's all about. The X factor is going to be your communication, how well you respond to your teammates' call-outs, and stay within elbows instead of coming in for the bait and switch.
Right.
On board now, actually, we're going to switch over to Junior. Also, should be Jazero going in for the big kill, taking down Slays. Super CC going out of flex range, Rated able to clean up Envoy on the screen, and this is a much closer game than we've seen in game number 2 compared to game number 1.
Jazero just going to try to extend that lead a little bit. Berserk going to just skate around the corner into a heat wave. That is Super CC. CC will drop. Flex going to pick it up, but Envoy in position to grab the heat wave and a follow-up kill on the Flex. Envoy, can he live, though? Nade into Slay. Slay's now trying to stay alive. Bottom spot to be in. It's here to but in time, Envoy still in the angle.
And now Envoy toward that bottom side of the map here. His teammate away with Flex. You have he playing out of over. That's first kill going at the feet while Frames taking out Jiro Super C. I vote to hop off him, see what he's to play.
4 kill advantage for Team War, and maybe make it a 3. To knock on for a gate. For him, team coming in, just no, he guess have to fight feed. Being become for a pickup.
Holding down top has Super CC sights. Nobody putting damage on him. Oh, Jazero putting him in a blender, giving him the wiggles.
Quite a lot of sauce coming off of that strafe there for sure. 22-18. Team War hang on to the advantage and extend it a little bit. That's the heat wave to shut him down. Another heat wave in, but Live get away. Pick anything. You got super angled. There's a Dynamo Jiro ready to come. 0. Most seconds left. The top map bridge already set.
One of the teams having built so one excellent job blocking the site and staying. You want to get on for Team War down. Make that down a little here. Take the lead.
Divine with progress. Aim to answer back. Loved it from over. This game came up. Jazero heat wave. Hated less picking up raids. Will back to it. Junior can't live. Drop the heat as he did the most stuff. Really do much to fight back in that fight, unfortunately. All 4 now up. Berserk is the number, and the bond collapse as well. What a kill onto Slays, who's left hanging in the doorway.
Gotta love that animation. Yeah. Down again before getting back smashed. That's a win in here. Team War once again that link reduction in up. Now looking around. Not sure exactly what enemy team is, but checking all of his corner. Rated able to take down Jazero. The double kill's gonna come in. The young man out of Coatesville, Pennsylvania is really starting to make a run.
Super CC just lining them all up. And more victims out front. Is that 3 dead? No, that's 2 and a mark on the Hydra. Gonna quickly rotate the opposite side map here. Envoy gonna hold things down to the Dynamos. Might be challenged just a sec by Berserk. Berserk looking cross map, recognizes no matter what direction he looks, he's got angles trained on him. And can he get out? No chance. Envoy here to collapse, shots into Slays, and he's on the chase now.
So he's going down to one shot. Luckily, he was able to help with that cleanup kill, taking down Envor, Receptify, taking down Rated right off the screen. 2 down for Team War momentarily. Divine Mind even having control over the 50% portion of the map. And Slay's now going in for a flank. They're not sure exactly where he is. This could be really good if Divine Mind want to come back in this game here. There we go. Ends up getting the first kill on Super CC. Who's next?
That's 2 dead. Shots into just Hero. Can't escape. 37 to 39. Spawner's up in the fridge, and Slay's with the perfect vantage point. He'll get the assist onto CC. Shots into Envor. There's the camo, just a second too late. And he dies as well. Septify with a huge set of kills. Bounces out of that fight too, and Junior can't chase him. Now Junior's in trouble.
His name may be Junior, but he's in some big trouble right now as the nades are starting to fly in. Going down to one shot, hasn't been punished just yet, but it seems like it's only going to be a matter of time. Meanwhile, Rated now going to make his way over toward the utility side of the map. Going to have 2 players in front of him, and I'm not sure if he's aware of that.
He's playing it slow, though, just in case, right? Trying to get information before he does fly forward. Slay's going to try to rotate out through. His entire team around him. And Envor right out front. They do deal with him, but Super CC still there to get the trade in. He'll drop a nade. Shots into Rated. Rated just skates by. And a narrowly survive here, 43 to 42. Just a 1-kill game. And you got to be checking that corner as Super CC waits for it.
The trade's going to come in, but Flex Reigns ends up getting a big cleanup kill. Envor knowing exactly where he is, going to hunt him down, making a one-shot, but not able to get the melee. Goes in for the challenge on Berserk, and it doesn't matter. He puts players on the black screen. That's what he does best. It's 46 all, 4 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock, but I don't think time's going to be a factor in this one.
Such a patient play out of Envor to not chase that kill, instead get the kill he knows he could get. Because of it, they just hold on to a 1-kill advantage here. CC shots into Berserk. Berserk, last thing he wants is to stay out there too long. And Envor just waiting for a weak player to come dive into. And Berserk is that weak player. Fortunately for him, he does die out center map, just 0 up on top mid, and everything Envor can do to help here with this angle, it looks like he will do just that. But Tony, it's 48 all. 2 kills left on either side, and he's coming down to these 1v1 trades for 49. 1 kill to close the game here, and it might be down to a, you know what, we might not even see it. It might just be just 0. Clutching things up for a 2-0 in this series, but man, did that get close.
Yeah, Divine Mind really going the distance with Team War. And I said it before, I believe this team kind of goes where Envor goes. And I believe when I saw in the stats, I believe Envor might have ended with anywhere between 18 or 19 kills in a Slayer Game 2 here in Championship Bracket. Big plays come out of that young man. Good job, Lee.
I mean, the man's popping off for sure. You said he was the person to watch on the team, and for good reason. And you got to love how he's kind of, you know, listening to his teammates and timing his challenges. The first thing that we saw, of course, you know, kind of going in top mid, putting excellent damage on that player, almost in melee lunge range, doesn't quite hit the melee, and then immediately backs off, does not even attempt to chase or follow the angle, instead just snaps onto his second player, wins a huge fight, and then backs off, does go down below, and then there was that situation where he is down under the waiting, or I guess on the heat waiting, first spawner above, collide on the way. He's waiting for communication. He's waiting to know who's weak and where they are, so that when he does jump in, it's just guaranteed kills, easy cleanup.
One of the biggest factors of high-level game is knowing when to slow the game down, knowing when to speed, knowing when to get that damage in, or knowing when to simply wait for your teammates. And Envor really has a master of that flow, or like you like to call it, the dance of Halo.
The dance is more so mano a mano, right? 1v1. What do you do when you catch the guy? But yeah, sure. I think he's got that down too. The man seems to be locked in regardless of the situation, of what his role is. He seems to, and so far 2-0 in the series, very close. You know, could have gone either way by all means, but because it went this way, things are looking tricky for Divine Mind at this point. I mean, CTF Bizarre up next. You can't afford to make mistakes, and you got a team like Team War that's so well coordinated, especially in objective. It just makes you wonder if Divine and here on Bizarre.
Well, I mean, luckily we've seen them catch stride in that game. They were literally 1 kill away from coming out on top. That one mistake or they're just been off for just 1 play and they come out on top. So they showed me enough to make me believe that it is possible for them to come out on top. That for one way. So there's number 2. Let's see.
So CTF, we've seen a lot of gameplay on here in this tournament. Tony, of course, rock map, the shot, you got the grab, you got the O fighter, and the game thankfully is starting, so we can see all of those elements come into play right off the rip here. Bizarre, CTF, once again, of course. How will they play it off the start? Tony, I know you got your tried and true starting strat, straight through the double doors, over to the grapple, right?
Yeah. That's my starting strat. But you know what? At this level of gameplay, I feel like they're watching every angle.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would work against this level of competition. I think at this point you need to have 2 players dedicated towards that rocket side, and then 2 players dedicated towards overshield. And for God's sake, do not lose both.
Hopefully not. I mean, what we saw recently was the very strat through alley, right? Sliding through the bottom of alley, skipping the shotgun, just so you can come up the other side with an angle across bottom mid. And what a detrimental angle as well, because if your teammates go out the front doors, they're looking down bottom mid, you got the pinch immediately. So bit of a high risk, high reward type play, and we'll see what they do. I mean, Tony, we talked about going through double doors. Most of them are. We got 2 center, straight out center, and the grapple picked up to the OS.
That's my strat.
Off his teammate. Is that your strat? That might not be your strat. Either way, they walked away with the OS, but what an interesting series of events there. And teammate going to block the grapple. We've seen that twice now. We've seen an enemy block the OS on the and now we've seen a teammate block the grapple as well.
It's funny because that's my exact strat. Going over towards the grapple, wrap towards if it's on pesky teammate wasn't in the way. Boom in the hand and down the trading off kills with slays. And now let's see what Envoy's up to. The big team battle specialist.
Oh, not anymore. Man's a 4v4 specialist. You're seeing him cross here. Wild to see how much flexibility Team War has had off the rip here, right? Like, I know that strat can be powerful going for grapple, grabbing the OS, but you got to have freedom to do that. War have somehow gained all of this freedom right off the beginning, and I think a big part of that, of course, just the coverage, the shots these boys are landing cross-map.
Berserk gonna run into 2 players here. The nade's gonna come in, trying to do more damage to himself. He did the enemy team right there as he gets cleaned up. 2 down, going Divine Mind. Slays going in, getting the melee kill on Jazero. That's gonna be a big slay coming out of Slays.
I mean, he's living up to his name here, and he's gonna continue, hopefully, to do that. You got Envoy just sitting in that cubby. He does have a nade, doesn't opt to throw it. Slays gonna back off, reposition, hopefully somewhere better. OS popping up soon here. CC Envoy could tag team in just a second. Berserk's here to help. Nice shots into Envoy. He does drop for the trade. And Septify still here to ruin someone's day. Less than 10 seconds for that OS. They got a delay and slay.
Dynamo Nade's going out, and that's going to be a big kill for Jazero right as the Overshield is coming up. Combining Overshield with the Mangler and the Grapple, this is going to be deadly.
Oh, he's going to fly right in. And you can see Flex. I mean, nice decision to... Yeah, he's going for the drop combo, trying to kill Jazero as quickly as possible. And it looks like he'll get Flex instead. Man, the crowd right now popping up. Tony, I know you hear it. This venue is coming alive, and you love to see it in land right now. Of course, Optic Sentinels taking place side by side with this series. There's a lot of hype Halo in this tournament today.
Overshield in the hands of Jazero, and that flag is already moving over towards the rocket side of the map. 2 players are currently down for Divine Mind. That flag is going to hit the 50% portion, but Berserk is ready. Excellent shots coming out of him. Whips out the Mangler, but he has multiple players in front of him. He's not going to last long.
Hey, he will drop in the alley. Now on board with Slays. Slays going to try to make his way to collect this flag, but that flag continues through, and Envoy there to ensure that nobody gets to it. That's going to go in the pedestal. That is a guaranteed flag 1 and 1-0 on the board here. And once again, just one step closer to putting Divine Mind in that lower bracket.
Excellent shots coming from Jazero, holding down the height advantage right now. And he's taking some damage. He's going to be forced to back down. Meanwhile, Envoy getting really aggressive on the flex range. The nade's going to come in, and he gets the cleanup kill. Rockets coming out of Septify. Going to use that to get some advantages here. It's going to be him and Super CC creating some offense, but Berserk was ready.
Septify couldn't quite close that kill, so just a moment to breathe for Divine Mind. Jazero going to take his time here, too, in the vents. Doesn't need to move just yet, just getting info. Convenient for him. He can pick up Berserk nice and easy. Slays over in the locker. Flex. Rain sitting up above and tossing nades. You can tell they're communicating this. You got CC going to come in perfectly timed for the challenge. Slays here to, at the very least, pick up the trade. Nice to see some aggression at a Divine Mind, but can they fend them off long enough? Because Team War kind of breaking through.
Septify getting his hands on the Overshield here, so they have the numbers in hands. He's actually going to save that Overshield. Notice that they were 2 down. So he's like, let me get the Overshield into a better position and take advantage of every second here. Going in, getting aggressive. That's going to be another 2 down here for Divine Mind. Going into the thrust. The thrust is not enough to stop you from Overshield, and he's getting ready for the overextenders, which is Flex Rain ready on their side.
Right, he's already got a teammate grabbing the flag, taking it up through the alley here, so he has advanced timing onto this player in BR. I think somebody might have spawned behind him, though, over in Locker as well as he moves forward so quickly here. Flag still does sit down in the alley. Super CC here has a line of defense on it. He's got a shotgun. Not expecting Slays to be there, though. Not even sure how this man got there. That might be the kicker. That might be enough to get the return here. Of course, Envor is still there to ensure that doesn't happen easily. Berserk wants to get in this fight, though. Can he get on for the return? Does get a huge kill onto Envor, and Envor did not touch the flag. That one is guaranteed to go back. And I think he's not done, too.
Clutch kill come out of Berserk, gets the return, even gets the double kill on Super CC, and like you said, he's not done yet. He's starting to push forward, and Blair's just gonna drop right in front of him, having no idea he was there. Finally able to spot him and put him down, but man, multiple slays coming in, but Septify, all 4 players down for Divine Mind, and Septify is starting to move the flag.
Just a little rinse and repeat at a Team War here. They continue to pick up the flag. At some point, another one of these will go through. I don't know where that nade went. What was that? Was that a frag, or did he throw a brute nade or something? It looked like it just got caught in the wall, killed him for it. I mean, I think that's another flag return, I guess, off of it. So Divine Mind, another lease on life here, but they can't continue to play defense, play goalie. They got to get a flag of their own.
Still on board now with Junior, trying to hold down any kind of perimeter here to try to get some kind of advantages on the enemy team. Super CC going right after Rated. Berserk taking down Jazeera, and Junior right behind enemy lines, able to take down Super CC. He's going to be the final player alive for his team. He's not even going to be able to get the overshield, which is going to quickly go into hands of Team War.
Septify with a thrust and an eye for the Rockets. Is anybody there in time to grab him? Looks like it's all Septify. Maybe a couple kills because of it. Not sure what happened with that player on his left-hand side. You think he would have got there to help, but instead, I mean, Septify going to walk out unscathed. And Envor going to walk out with yet another flag. He's got shields to ensure he gets a little bit farther this time. Berserk spotting up in lockers. You can see he tries to rotate immediately, but just gets melted. They cannot do anything off a spawn here. That flag, I mean, at this point, how do they contest it?
Envor dropping the flag to even finish off his killing spree, approaching the double door and able to get it around. Junior able to play some defense over towards his bridge, but not in time to stop the flag. That's going to be a 2-0 run for Team War.
2-0 for Team War, and no signs of slowing down, that's for sure. We've already got Septify just locking down some defense here in the base. Berserk going to try to get up into him. But he plays it patient, right? He just lets him throw out the melee. Just get the 2-shot beatdown instead. Guarantee you get that kill. And try to get out of dodge here as well. He's in a lot of trouble. Does skate behind the ledge. That flag going to get pulled. But can they get it very far? This is the first real effort I think we've seen at Divine Mind in this game.
And I mean, at this point, they got to make something happen here. There's only a little bit over 4 minutes on the clock. So, I mean, they have to put 2 caps on the board, at least put 1, and be in position to force a sudden death. Slays and Divine Mind are kind of on their back foot, and we're going to see what they're really made of.
What can Slays do? Kill onto Envor. That's a good start. Flag still out. White want to touch it so that he doesn't have to go back and collect it once again. He's got a teammate to escort it just a little. We got Berserk holding things down from Rockets. Flag sits out double doors. I believe the opposite flag has been pulled, so we do have Septify. I think he was trying to walk that flag. He only managed to get it out to the shotgun before he did get caught, though. Well, that happened. Super CC picks up the OS. Return coming in, but CC, if anything, I mean, he can get a couple kills here, maybe a return of his own.
Ooh, double kill coming out of Super CC, going in for the challenge on Slays. Almost able to get the triple kill. Luckily, he's going to trust his trusty teammate in Envor to get the cleanup kill. And then Envor going to get the double kill of his own. Slays heavily going in favor of Team War. They're getting aggressive.
Double out of Envor. Jazeera going to help out the player in alley, but I mean, at this point, it's just impressive the amount of damage these boys are doing. Baiting and switching, or just individual slaying power here. Super CC coming out the base, out the double doors. Rockets about to spawn. Get tagged up left and right, though. Berserk will walk away with 1. Berserk with 2. Is it enough for the Rockets here? He's got teammates with eyes on it.
Slays trying to take control here with flex range in front of him. Actually, they're going to take both angles here, so both perimeters being locked down here by Divine Mind. Hopefully they can create some kind of collapse after getting the Slays, trying to avoid damage. Rated watching the only exit point with the Mangler, so this is looking good for Divine Mind, but it can look as good as it wants. They need the kills. They simply need the kills.
I mean, Tony, you said it. Hopefully they're listening. Rated already picked up 1. They got the Rockets as well making it through the alley. rocket kill from Berserk, cross map to spawn there, so great work out of him. Flag now taken. This is the opportunity they need, right? 2 minutes 30 on the clock. Everyone coming out with this flag, all members of the team up with an opportunity to fight back, but of course, overextenders already there on the opposite side of the base. That's 3 of them ready to brawl here in the base. It's going to be a hell of a contest. Whoever comes out on top of this fight will come out with the flag, and so far, it's all red on the feed. War with 2. Flex Rang going to do what he can, Deceptify, to try to live. This is massive for him, but that flag, I think, already returned. Unfortunately, Divine Mind just can't seem to get through the doors. And can they at least get their own flag back? Looks like they might. Oh.
Flex Rang's getting a nasty double kill. Deceptify going to answer back. Big kills, a 2-0 run, still in Team 0. Now we're less than 2 minutes on the clock. This time is becoming a factor.
Looks like that return might come through. It did. Like you said, time's becoming a factor here. Divine Mind, they fended off 1 flag, but they still got to get at least 1 more before this timer ticks out so that they can trigger a sudden death. So a lot of work ahead of them here. They will try once again. Slay's going to come in. Teammate with him on the left-hand side. Nobody home as well, so an opportunity to pull flag. But once again, we know what's going to happen. We've seen it multiple times. They're going to overextend back, win their fights in the base, and then just be waiting for them with a flag. And they can't seem to win the last battle, the one that matters the most here. And now Super CC, somehow this man just got behind enemy lines. He just jumped up behind them and gets a double for it and another return. So that they're going for these flags, they're pulling them, they're getting progress, but something's missing, Tony. There's a missing link here, and I think it's just getting the kills along the way.
Like you said, time and time again, we're seeing the same thing. So, I mean, we've read this book before over and over again. Just 0 excellent shots coming out of Raider, force him to back down. And the nade is going to come in to finish him off. Just 0 playing excellent. Only 46 seconds left in this game. And I don't know if it's possible for Divine Mind to come back.
I'm going to say no. Definitely not, but I mean, we'll watch it and just see how it goes regardless. But look at this. I mean, at this point, it's just these boys winning their fights left and right. It might be a 3-0 in the next 30 seconds is what might happen here as they run that flag through the alley. Slay's going to spawn up. He's already getting tagged the moment he comes out the double doors. From 3 different freaking directions, apparently the man can't do anything. That flag's going in. Tony, that's a 3-0, a guaranteed victory. They could put their controllers down because there's nothing Divine Mind can do in this game, in this series. Team War are just a little better.
What's a cupcake without frosting? And that 3rd flag cap is going to be the frosting right on top of the cake. Team War winning this game 3-0, and also the series as well. That can't be a coincidence. Team War advancing forward into winners bracket round 2.
Well deserved. And also somewhat expected, right? Team War, we know how strong this team is. They're a bit of a, I want to say that sleeper hit, right? Because they didn't get that advance opportunity into the pools like a lot of these top teams did. Instead, they had to fight through to get access to this tournament. They fought through the open bracket. I'm sure they did exceptional there. They made it into winners round 1 in the first place. And then, of course, Divine Mind. I mean, unfortunately for them, Divine Mind kind of just like got an appetizer for what's to come for a team like Team War. You got to be honest. I mean, a 3-0, especially a 3-0 in the CTF to close it out. The Slayer, we saw some signs of life. We can take a look at a recap of the series overall, right? The Slayer, we saw something. Divine Mind, they can go toe-to-toe when it just comes down to 1v1 fights, engagements, right? But when it comes down to teamwork, coordination, and really playing these maps properly, I think especially Bizarre CTF, just Team War, there was an edge there that Divine Mind just did not have an answer for.
Well, I guess you can't have a full course meal without an appetizer, and Team War just eating up right now. I mean, and mind you, not a game 2. That was an excellent game 2. That Aquarius Slayer was amazing. I thought Divine Mind played really well, but to be honest, game number 1, game number 3, it was a dominant performance by Team War, and quite frankly, a clinic in favor of the boys in red.
Yeah, like you said, an appetizer, right? Because for a team like Team War, it's not going to get any easier in this pool. We only got more intense competition coming up. We got a peek at the pools a little earlier on. We got FaZe waiting for a competitor. We got Cloud9 waiting for a competitor. It could be Team War that's going up against one of these teams waiting in that winners round 2. So we'll see how that shakes up. We also have Optic and Sen that just played in the main broadcast, twitch.tv/Halo. If you're watching this, I'm sure you're aware of what just took place. Tony, we couldn't ignore it. The audience, the energy.
Crazy.
I could barely hear my own cast. It's coming through so loud. The Optic chants, apparently Optic just 3-0'd Sen, so hopefully you didn't miss that. Hell of a series, and we got some incredible series coming up. Gonna get the update on what exactly that is in 1 second. I got it. It's G2 and Ascent coming up next. And you know what? We had this series, I want to say, is a nice little appetizer for that one coming up, because G2 looking like an excellent team at this point. They also beat FaZe. They beat FaZe earlier today in pools, and then you got Ascend, who have defeated some of the top teams as well, including Xset just earlier on, going toe-to-toe with some of the other top competition, of course, coming from EU. So, Tony, we got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
And that's going to come up after the break. So G2 Ascend after our break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more HCS.